Hello everybody, it is LB 3-Point Man back again with another Bengals draft profile video. This week I am bringing you Stanford defensive end Solomon Thomas. This will be my first non-wide receiver episode, and I hope everyone enjoys it just as much as my previous episodes. To start off, we are going to look at Solomon Thomas's stats for the 2016 season. Playing defensive end in Stanford's 3-4 defense, Thomas has very good numbers, recording 40 solo tackles, 14 tackles for loss, and 8.5 sacks, which is a very high number for a 3-4 defensive end. Let's look at some things to like in Solomon Thomas as a prospect. To start off with, he is an elite athlete, testing at above the 80th percentile for defensive ends in all but one combine drill. This athleticism suggests that he may have more potential on the edge as a pure defensive end than originally thought. However, as we will talk about later, a lot of that is simply projection. Something that Solomon Thomas certainly offers to teams is versatility. In a 4-3 defense like the Bengals run, he has the ability to play both on the edge and to slide inside for passing downs. He's able to be deployed in a variety of ways to get your 4 best players for the job on the field at any time. For a college defensive lineman, Solomon Thomas has very good hand usage. His ability to keep his arms fully extended allows him to pull off a variety of hand moves to disengage from the blocker and make plays on the ball. This skill should only improve with practice in the pros as he adds more moves to his skill set. Even when trying to get after the quarterback, Solomon Thomas is very aware of what's going on around him. He often would sniff out screens and get out there before the running back is able to get many yards or even gain any yards at all. In the pros, I could see him even picking off a pass and taking it for 6 on a screen play gone wrong. Solomon Thomas is a relentless player who never gives up on a play from beginning to end. This will often allow him to make plays that other defensive ends would fail to make, as they would have allowed themselves to get pushed out of the play when the ball was ran to the other side of the field or their initial attempt to get the quarterback was stopped. Solomon Thomas is a smart player who will often try and guess the snap count of the opposing team. Now, I doubt he'll be able to do this as often in the pros because of smarter quarterbacks and coaches, but I believe this speaks to how smart of a player he is at approaching the game. Now, sadly, no prospect is perfect, so we have to talk about some weaknesses in Thomas's game. To start off with, the point has to be brought up that there are questions in what position he would play in the pros. Despite playing as a 3-4 defensive end in college, he does not seem to have the bulk to play mostly inside in the pros. However, after rarely playing outside the tackles in college, it is hard to project him as a 4-3 defensive end or a 3-4 outside line. This next point plays off of my last one. In the 2 games that I surveyed to get the tape for this episode, Solomon Thomas rushed from outside the offensive tackles 6 times. So any thought of him playing a 4-3 defensive end is merely a projection on an extremely limited sample of snaps combined with his impressive athletic profile and hand usage. However, we don't have the tape of him playing defensive end from college. Another question about his ability to thrive on the edge in a 4-3 is his size. At 6'3", he is short for a defensive end, although he has a good weight at that size of 273 pounds. Generally, though, the Bengals like their defensive ends to be very tall players, like Michael Johnson at 6'7" and Carlos Dunlap. When Solomon Thomas is double-teamed, he can get pushed out of a play and allow a running lane to be easily open for the running back to get by. He's able to get completely taken out of the play when double-teamed. Solomon Thomas is a bit of a one-year wonder, having only recorded 3.5 sacks his only other year playing at Stanford. However, his play this year was steady across a wide variety of opponents, not simply beating it up against weaker opponents. And in his previous year, he had 10.5 tackles for loss still, which is a significant number. Do you remember what I said about him being a smart player guessing the snap count? Well, this is the other side of that coin. On 7 of his attempts of guessing the snap count, he jumped early and had a false start penalty called against him. He needs to tone down the aggressiveness a bit when he gets to the NFL. These first clips are clips of Solomon Thomas getting pressures on the quarterback. You'll notice that Solomon Thomas wins in a variety of ways. Occasionally, he is able to simply bull rush and overpower an opposing offensive lineman. However, he is also able to win with a variety of moves. In these clips, you'll see a spin move and a play where he simply sheds the offensive lineman. Something that I noticed when watching Solomon Thomas's tape is that he is not a great finisher. He needs to get better at wrapping up the quarterback when he gets into the backfield. Although I think a big part of that is he was facing Mitchell Trubisky, who has solid pocket awareness, is able to sidestep the charging bull that is Solomon Thomas several times, except not in the red zone on the 2-point conversion to win the game. These next plays are showing Thomas's great play against the run. On a lot of plays, he was able to quickly shed his offensive lineman and get in the backfield to make a tackle for loss. As you'll notice, he wins in a couple of ways here as well, once again using a combination of bull rush and good hand movement to bully opposing offensive linemen. In this last clip here, you'll see him chase down the read option from the backside and make a fantastic play behind the line of scrimmage, wrapping up Mitchell Trubisky and getting them for a loss. Now what you'll see here is examples of Thomas's smart play and his ability to sniff out screens. On a lot of these plays, he starts off trying to make a play against the quarterback, but he quickly realizes something is wrong and gets out to where the ball is going. Often, making a play to either help slow down the play or stopping it all by himself. All I can say is, be afraid when running flip screens against Solomon Thomas. Alright everybody, that about wraps us up. Now that's all left to do is do the player comp and head on out of here. My comp is a player who's used in a variety of ways for his team, playing both inside and outside on the defensive line, and that player is Michael Bennett of the Seattle Seahawks. Wait a second, what's this? There's more? Yes everybody, as one final note, I have gathered all of the clips of him playing outside the offensive tackle here at the end of the video. It's such a small percentage of clips I didn't want to use it in the main part and get people's hopes up about his ability to play 4-3 defensive end. I will reiterate. These are the only 6 times he played a 4-3 defensive end role in the videos I watched, so him playing solely 4-3 defensive end is a big projection. However, these snaps you see here are promising. He's able to get pressure on the quarterback even though he is not able to finish. That combined with his athletic profiles I'll stick on at the end of the video here, comparing him athletically to Khalil Mack and Justin Houston, are slightly promising about his ability to play 4-3 defensive end. However, I will say it one more time. This is basically a complete projection and it is impossible to predict. Anyway, on that note, that actually wraps us up. I hope you enjoyed it and that you learned something new too. LB 3 Point Man, out.